Sri Chakra, which is actually the sacred geometry that we speak of, right? It's literally how the cosmos were created. If I talk about the sacred geometry, I'm talking about that each and every creation that has ever been made, that is there, and that will ever be made, right, would have the same structure, right? So, and that also reflects in our bodies. That also reflects in our DNA.
Yes.
Right. So, technically, Sri Chakra is actually the language of science. And when I'm looking into it, because this is what the creation is all about, I'm tuning myself with the frequency of creation. And that's why I feel that, I'm the creator and I'm the creation.
Absolutely. And since we are talking science, if you were looking at the Sri Yantra at this point of time, and I put you under the fMRI machine, what would I see? I would see that your brain is going into theta waves and it is working on the higher aspects of the brain, such as the amygdala. And it's actually bringing about a consonance between your left and right brain, which is what is the most essential quality required for spiritual evolution.
Wow. So one Sri Chakra and it solves everything.
And why? Because even if you look at a flower, if you look at a sunflower, for example, or if you look at a snail, they all have to adhere to the golden ratio, the principle of Fibonacci. So the mathematics of the universe finds a drawing in the Sri Yantra. It's exactly the same thing that you will see in the Pyramid of Giza. Or yesterday someone mentioned to me that they were in Machu Picchu and they were amazed by the energy that they were feeling, which was very similar to the Shakti energy that they would feel in a Sannidhi in South India, in a temple.
And we were able to think of, of Sri Chakra, how many years back?
12,000 years ago.
12,000 years
When
ago.
it was recorded. Before that, I don't know for how many thousand years we have lived with this knowledge.
So now I feel that worshipping Lalita Tripur Sundari or, all the practices of Sri Vidya, it is so scientific. And you also said somewhere that where quantum physics and Sri Vidya begins.
Exactly.
It blew away my mind when I heard that. So can you touch upon any one such thing which you think that the quantum physics, quantum science still has to discover, but is already at a very core level with Sri Vidya?
Quantum entanglement, you talk about that because we've already spoken about it in Sri Vidya. In all the Tantra texts, they talk about how time itself, sometimes it can even be negative. It can, there's no past and there's no future. They're very fluid. So even if you look at the double slit experiment, that is exactly what Sri Vidya has been talking about from 12,000 years ago, saying that everything is the observer. The electron, for example, is just sitting there waiting for the observer. And then it will determine whether it will become a wave or a particle, depending on the observer. So this is what we've been saying all along, that your consciousness creates what you want. So isn't that exactly the same thing?
Very off the record, but when we are observer, because what I've also know is that Shiva is the observer and Shakti is the observation.
Yes.
So when we become observer, we are kind of getting into the Shiva aspect. Is that so?
We are actually converging both at this point where the observer and the observation become one. Shiva Shakti Eka Rupini. And that's when you become that manifestation machine. And when I say manifestation machine, I don't mean it only for material desires, because that's just so, ordinary, common. Who wants that? After you reach a certain point in spirituality, gender doesn't exist. Time also becomes very illusory. And all the things that you felt were important just fall away by the wayside. It's like, now I've got greater goals. And now I've seen a glimpse of it and I want more of that. I don't want all these little common things which I was hankering after.
Because the wheel has been lifted.
True. True.
Nice. Okay, how does one know that, Ma really wants them to practice Sri Vidya?
I always say that Sri Vidya chooses you.
How does
you
one
could
know?
be under the illusion that you have chosen Sri Vidya, but
It's the other
even
way
the
around.
tantric texts, whether it's the Vamakeshwara Tantra or the Rudrayamala Tantra, it says very clearly that there are only two reasons why you're on this path. One is your Swayam Shiva himself. Leave gender aside. Because Shiva, we are talking about the tattva. It's not the, the physical aspects of Shiva. Or you have done so much punya in your previous lives that you are getting the permission to chant her name in this janma, and this will lead you only straight to moksha. There's nothing left after this.
Nice. But then how does one know? Like, how does Sri Vidya chooses you? How does Sri Vidya choose you?
How does one know? You will know it instinctively. It's just a visceral.
Dreams or-
It could be dreams. Although I've never dreamt of Devi.
Really?
Yeah, I know a lot of my followers. They talk about how I had this dream of Devi. I've never dreamt of her, but I think somewhere she makes herself known when she comes into your life. It could be in various ways. It could be that suddenly there is an awareness of something that was right before you. Some people suddenly discover that there's a Shri Yantra which they've had for 30 years, but they didn't know. They were, doing prayer to it. They had it in their puja room, and suddenly it becomes visible to them, and then they want to learn more. So there are different ways, and for each person, it's a different story, it's a different narrative, but somehow they will know, and instinctively you're drawn towards it. And from there, there's no looking back.
Does Sri Vidya also help in dissolving the karmic imprints? Does it kind of free us of the karma that we have done?
It burns up the karma, and that's the whole point of the practice, the sadhana. It accelerates your karma to a point where, because we are saying on the one hand that moksha is what is imminent for us, so it means that you have to burn up all your karma. So if you think that going on the path of Sri Vidya is going to make your life easy,
It's
then
gonna
drop
be
that
difficult.
thought immediately, because it's going to be
Yeah.
tremendously more difficult.
Because
it's acceleration of karma.
So everything that God planned actually to give you in many lifetimes, you'll be getting in this lifetime.
Exactly. And also, a car going at 40, 50 kilometers per hour, there's still control. You are still able to slam the brakes if there's a pedestrian. But if that same car is going at 180, then very little control. Right? Everything's just coming at you at that point. And you have to relinquish that control. So that sharanagati, that complete surrender to her, is what will actually protect you and save you. But I am not promising an easier life.
How has been your life ever since you started practicing Sri Vidya?
Full of challenges, also full of bliss. Because I think what happens is that you develop an equanimity where you're saying, Ma, this is also your doing. So I accept with grace. Whatever it is that you're giving me, I know you're doing it with a reason, and it's because you're burning my karmas. Life becomes a tapasya, tapa.
Now it makes sense, because if it's burning your karma, then it also must ensure to give all the fruits, like good fruits of your karma in this lifetime.
Right.
That's the reason you're able to see that kind of abundance, that kind of, magnanimity that you
True.
always wished.
True.
So life is very oscillating between both the spectrums, right?
True.
Interesting. You also mentioned of that how in Sri Vidya, the philosophy says that, we treat our body as sacred temple. Are there any lesser known practices that activate certain glands, certain nerves, which helps us align our physiology with higher consciousness?
So, number one is, of course, to ensure that all our energy channels remain activated and open. So, that is your entire chakra system. So, it's good to do some kind of chakra activity, which balances your chakras, removes any stagnation. Also, tapping, as in EFT. The emotional freedom technique, that helps a lot to also bring in some aspects of tapping into your everyday practice. So while you're chanting, you could do the tapping, that kind of thing. So there are many ways of doing it, but the most prominent method still remains the chakra balancing. Because once your chakras are aligned, then there's just a lot better flow of energy, which helps you to keep this body in better condition. And of course, if you're also a practitioner of yoga, that helps. Meditation helps, because these are all practices which bring about a greater degree of alignment of the mind, body, and spirit.
It was an absolutely profound conversation with you, Vinita ma'am. I think, I started as a novice. I literally had no idea about Sri Vidya and Sri Chakra before before the whole conversation of this podcast came up. And I think within the conversation, you kind of matured me into understanding Maya, singularity, and so many other stuff. It has been an absolute delight having this conversation with you. Thank you so much. And I really, really would like to host you again for some other topic. Maybe we can delve deeper into Maya.
Right? Or the Sri Yantra, because that itself is something that many people are curious about, and very little knowledge exists out there. So perhaps that's something that we can do, or we can combine the two things.
Absolutely.
It's been a genuine pleasure. Your questions were truly very thought-provoking. And I think this has been my favorite podcast till date. And thank you for the team. I really appreciate the fact that you've taken the trouble to do all of this and to share the knowledge of Shakti. And I would like to close with a prayer from a Vedic text, the Rig Veda to be specific. And it's from the Sri Suktam. It's a blessing which invokes an abundance of all things enriching for everyone who's listening or who's watching.
Beautiful. Sure.
Om Shrivarchasvamaayushyamarogyama vidhachobhamanam mahiyate dhanyam dhanam pashum bahuputra labham shatasamvatsaram dirghamayuhu. Shri Matre Namaha.
Thank you so much. Loved every bit of it. Thank you. And yeah, I think I literally before starting the podcast, even last night, and in fact today morning also, I was like, aaj bahut bhari bharkam podcast. I sat in my meditation and I was like, I just surrendered it to Ma. I was like, this is for you. Let the questions flow, whatever you want the world to know, just take over me and then just let it flow. So if this was good enough, I'm happy.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
And to all of you who have stayed till the end, then I can only say one thing, that Devi really wanted you to watch this podcast. Maybe this is your entry to the whole idea of Sri Vidya and Lalita Tripura Sundari. So please, if you found this very profound and insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. And if you feel that this can be a great podcast for someone who might be at their low level and this can help them out, please don't forget to share it with them. We will be back again with a very interesting guest and another exciting episode very soon. Stay tuned.